Hello YouTube, this is TommyAquaberries. Trying something new here. Gonna do a quick review of a game that I played. It is called Mortal Shell, and it was in beta just about a week ago. My channel up till now has been pretty much all video game music videos. That's to say, I write and record and produce songs. My lovely singer, Melissa Rose, comes and sings my lyrics. Play games I love and put those songs to the edited gameplay I capture. And this is my first try at a review, so forgive my rambling speech and repeated phonemes and phrases. I will get better. Hope you enjoy it. So the first things first, who would play Mortal Shell? Why would you want to? Well, it's an obvious Dark Souls clone, Soulsborne, Sekiro, whatever you want to call it. There's other clones, obviously, like Surge, Neo, Code Vein, and that Viking one that I always forget the name of. And you know the drill. They're basically the same structurally. They all have little things that make them different. But these games are hard, brutal. There's usually different weapons and different builds or something like that. Big enemies and play through a dark story, cool different maps, blah blah blah. So the map in Mortal Shell, which is not due out for like quite a while I guess, is pretty cool. The beta gave us two places pretty much. There's like this hazy tutorial level, but the main place is a swamp, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of mushrooms and weird toads. But yeah, there's vendors spread out, there's items, and it's got this cool item familiarity system where you basically, the more you use items, the better they get. They get a new effect or just more potency, which is cool. I've never seen that in a game like this. There's little mini bosses spread out, which is cool. And they drop upgrade materials mostly. The enemies are pretty cool. It's pretty interactive. The second map is like a mine cave full of like more claustrophobic areas. That is also a good map. I hope there is a lot more variety in the maps in the main game, but it's pretty cool. And the last boss area is probably the coolest part of it, I think, is at the end of the beta you get to this boss and it's just a big hulking thing with a big mace or something. And the cool thing though is that it's a big area, big arena, but when he does his like smash attacks, it loosens. I don't remember if that's stalactite or stalagmite, but whatever's on the ceiling, like ice sickles, and they come down and they can hurt you and the boss, which is interesting. I like that the map has some interaction with moves. It's a cool idea. Don't see it much in these Souls games, so I like the maps. So the core thing to all these games is the combat, pretty much where it's going to be good or not, and they all have different flares. You know, these clones have the Surge has the breaking different pieces off people and using those pieces. Code Vein's got more of an anime, flashy skill set moves. Neo is obviously samurai and stuff like that. So when you start off, you're actually like this gray, like sinewy looking wraith, and that's really what you are. And you find different, I don't know, they call them shells, hence the name of the game. But you find them and inhabit them, and it's pretty cool because the two in the demo or beta are like a classic knight type guy and a classic sort of rogue type thief kind of dude. The rogue has way more stamina, can, swing longer, but way less health than the warrior. I assume there's going to be many of these shells, I hope, so that we can find one that suits our playstyle or go through the game multiple times. It's just like builds in Dark Souls, different builds. And they seem to be very upgradable with whatever the souls are called. I can't remember what they call it. I think they call it tar for some reason. Some lady kept trying to get me to take divine tar from her, which was kind of weird. But I liked it. And the two weapons that they showcased were, your basic like two-hander sword, pretty big, pretty slow, pretty powerful. And the other weapon was like a hammer in one hand, a small hammer, and a knife in the other, and it was much faster. I preferred the latter. Had a lot more luck with the latter. The fighting is brutal, really hard. I'm pretty much a veteran of the Soulsborne games and these clone Souls-like games, as they're called, and I died quite a bit. But it was fair. It worked. For a beta especially, it was well balanced. I enjoyed the whole thing. The enemies were pretty cool. Pretty normal fare, humanoid. Some of them sitting around a bonfire, kind of like stand up when they see you, come attack you. Very Bloodborne-esque, I thought. But, bigger, hulking monstrosities of enemies that have bigger weapons, take more damage, that kind of thing. The coolest enemy, for me, was in the mine. It was these guys, you walk up on them, they got swords sticking all out of their body, and from a ranged attack they pull that sword out and throw it at you, which is cool. You get close, they pull two swords out of them and they fight you, and then roughly when you get them to about a fourth of their health, they straight up rip their own head off and throw it at you, which does massive damage and poison damage, and then they just fall over dead because they ripped their own head off. So that was pretty cool. I liked that it had like a little phase in it, and there was like interaction with its own model of character. That was pretty awesome. There's smaller, faster enemies, that kind of thing. The boss, like I said, was just a big guy with a big weapon. Normal fare, dodge around him, hit him in the back, learn all their patterns. But it was cool. The UI was good, the menus were good. I don't care much about that stuff. I'm pretty forgiving in that aspect. Especially it's a beta, so whatever. But it all worked. The graphics weren't really good, but they were definitely modern, passable, and it was a beta, so who knows what they'll have later on. It ran really smooth. I'm sure it was at least 60 FPS on my machine, which is middle of the road basically. The world looked good, a little dark maybe, but that might just be the two areas that they showed off. I only had one bug, and it was something like I rolled and I ended up on top of a destructible pot or something, and then the pot broke, but I was still standing about a foot in the air and couldn't move. And I had to alt F4. But that happened once in about 2 hours of playing the game. I thought it ran very well, so good job, people making this. So that's all I really wanted to talk about. I thought it was pretty cool. The beta did exactly what a beta is probably, designed to do, which is I played it, had fun, walked away thinking, wow, there's some interesting stuff going on in this. And on full release, I am completely intrigued. Am I going to buy it day one? I don't know. I don't buy many games day one, but we'll see. The Souls-like mechanics were all there with the weight of the weapons and the rolling, dodging, all that stuff was all there, and it was working good. And there was enough interesting stuff, like the familiarity system with items, the mortal shell mechanic of going in and out of different ancient warrior kind of things and the weapons are independent of that. The knight could use the fast weapon, the thief could use the big sword. And it made it seem like the more you used one of the shells, the more you would upgrade it. So that was cool. Makes you work on a build of the one that really connects to you. Which is always important, right guys? It's always important to feel connected to your build. So that's all I wanted to really say. I think that it feels different enough to shine on its own, and I'm excited. And I'll probably either be getting the game when it releases or shortly after. We shall see. But my name is TommyAquaberries, and Mortal Shell's pretty good. Check it out when it comes out, and I'll show you some gameplay as I'm talking, or I did show you gameplay as I was talking. The magic of computers. Alright, everybody have a good day. If you like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out my other videos. It doesn't cost anything, and it means a lot to me personally. Alright. Signing off.